Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday, November 5th, 2025 Finance Committee. It is just now after 5 at 5:01. Let's go ahead and call this evening's meeting to an order. Starting off with item number 1, our roll call. We have a quorum present, only missing members Fagan and Roseman Mendoza. Carrying us on to item number 2, our consent agenda, which includes the approval of minutes from October 8th, 2025 regular meeting and the recommended approval of bills and transfers, if any, to the county board. Might I have a motion to put them on the floor? Motion by Vice Chair Friedrich and a second by Member Farley. Comments or questions? Seeing none, voting on the consent agenda, items A and B, minutes and bills and transfers, all of those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. On to item number 3, appearance by members of the public and county employees. Administrator Taylor, have we had anyone register for public comment this evening?
We've had one request from Art Rodriguez.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. The mic is yours. You might have to turn it on. And I believe you do have 5 minutes if you're speaking on behalf of a registered organization.
I'm back for popular demand, so I'm going to filibuster for 15 or 21 hours. So,
How about just 5?
okay, 5 minutes. We'll do that.
We'll go there.
Well, we're having issues at the Veterans Assistance Commission. We've asked for, over a month ago, for a credit card so that we can make purchases. Again, military guys tend to anticipate. We want to know when the Russians or the Chinese are coming. We want to be ready. Well, we knew about the SNAP issue. So our food bank, we go every other week for perishables, every other week for the good stuff. We are out of everything. It took 3 days from when Congress sat there and said, we're not going to do anything. So we need that credit card like yesterday. We've worked out a phenomenal deal. I'm not going to go public with the deal because I don't want you guys running to the store, but Hy-Vee's worked a tremendous deal with us on the cost of merchandise that we would probably purchase with that credit card. Currently, that would be about the only thing we need right now is maybe about $1,000, $2,000 canned vegetables, which is kind of critical out there. The other issue that we have, we're submitting vouchers, and now we're getting them kicked back. I guess it's a retaliation that they want to see the full board minutes approving these vouchers. The board has given Jerry permission to authorize anything under $5,000. Just to give you an example, last year, we put a voucher in for $27,000 so that veterans in different parts of the community, particularly in rural areas, would have defibrillators. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Tongue twister. They're costly pieces of equipment, about $2,800. We were able to negotiate it and get it down to $22,000. We never got asked for minutes of the meeting for that one. And all last year, we never did. Now it becomes the new method of, I guess, management. We're not spending the money out there ridiculously. We are a commission that's mandated and guided by state and federal law. So if we were out to go out and buy Lamborghinis, I think we'd be in the sheriff's jail pretty quick. So buying canned food is a very critical thing. Jerry will go into some of the matters a little bit quicker, but I wanted to reiterate the state has passed what they call the Military Veterans Assistance Act. That regulates our funding and it regulates what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to assist veterans and their families, which is what we've been doing. Every voucher we have going out is for that. One that we have going out, which is about $2,000, we will be going out to elderly senior veterans or disabled veterans or widows just to blow the leaves out into the curb. And we're probably targeting 20, 30 veteran families at that. So it's not like we're pissing money away. We're utilizing this thing, but we're getting scrutinized now on this process. And if we have to wait till the minutes, what's going to happen is we meet on the 3rd Monday of every month. By the time the minutes get written up, it's that following Friday. We're going to be looking at delaying payments that may be urgent a month. And just to give you an example, the last time I was here, we talked about the HUA almost being 2 months. They just went out for their hunt this weekend. They're out there now hunting. they got their check on Saturday. We're really cutting things awfully close. And it's not where we want to be. So I'm not going to filibuster the 21 hours. I just want to bring that to your attention. And again, if anybody wants a copy of the Military Veterans Assistance Act that the state has put in there, it tells you about our funding. And we've been running lower than the mandate because we're running efficiently. So I'd be more than happy to send that to anybody that wants it. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. That concludes our public comment and carries us on to item number 4 on our agenda this evening with departmental matters. This is where we go to 4A and welcome Mr. Jerry Vogler from the Veterans Assistance Commission. Mr. Vogler, you're encouraged to come forward. Should you have, you can have a seat at any of these chairs that has a mic. Before we get too far into that item, I'd like a motion for 4A, 1A. That's the request approval of the issuance of a purchasing card for the Veterans Assistance Commission. I see a motion by Member Loeffler and a second by Member Farley. Mr. Vogler, over to you for any additional information that would be helpful for us to understand on this item.
Okay. Yeah, there's things happening over the VAC in the last year and a half since the Military Veterans Assistance Act was passed by the state of Illinois that has changed virtually everything here. We have a lot more urgent needs because the number of veterans that we're serving is going up. And one of the things that happens, we need credit. In the past, when we were only doing the utility bill assistance and rent and that sort of thing, it was pretty easy. Time it, we could borrow the county's credit card and so forth and use it. That's not realistic for us to do that anymore because we have almost day-to-day needs where we may need to make short-term purchases. And with that card, we can respond to what the veteran needs in an appropriate manner. And we're dealing, veterans would almost rather cut their right arm off than to come in and ask for assistance. So when they come in, a lot of them are really in a desperate state. And we need to be able to respond to that quickly. And the purchase credit card, whatever you want to call it, would really help us to be able to respond in a timely manner.
Thank you very much for that information and context.
Thank you.
We'll go to comments or questions from the committee. Seeing no comments or questions, we'll go ahead and put item 4A, 1A to a vote. That's a request approval of the issuance of a purchasing card for the Veterans Assistance Commission. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you again very much for being here this evening, Mr. Vogler. Were there any other pieces of information that you would like to present while you're here, or we can carry on if there aren't?
I just have one question.
If you wouldn't mind coming to a mic, you can. There's actually one right at the chair next to you.
Oh, I'll come up.
Either way, thank you.
Do I understand what has just taken place is that the use by the VAC of our own purchase card has been approved?
That is correct.
That's what's happened?
Yes.
Okay, now my big question is, when will it be available for us and how do we go about doing that?
So administration will work with the treasurer's office and Commerce Bank to get that issued to you, and you will receive it probably in a couple of days. I'm not sure how long it will take Commerce, but we will be working with the treasurer's office to get that done very quickly.
If I could add a
Thank you very
comment.
much.
Yes, we'll work on that, but due to the immediate need that Mr. Rodriguez expressed, that you need a card like now, tomorrow, I have availability on the card assigned to my department, so we can work that out, show up at Hy-Vee with you, and take care of that if you want to reach out to me tomorrow.
Okay,
Because it will take a few days for Commerce Bank to get that into their system and get that check card generated, and then they'll overnight it. It'll end up in the county auditor's office where then she can get that distributed to you.
okay. Yeah, just to give you one piece of information, some of the VACs across the state of Illinois, the county board simply says, here's your money, puts it in a bank account, and here's your new checkbook. Personally, that's a crazy policy. But they do it that way, and generally over a long period of time, it doesn't work to a good ending. And fortunately, back in 1984, when the VAC first opened, Sammy Ferrara, who opened the office, and the county board, from that point on, worked together, and it works much better here. And I don't think we've had one thought of from the public that we're doing something inappropriate or unethical. So appreciate the county board's indulgence.
Thank you again very much. And thank you, Ms. McNeil. I'd like to definitely recognize and thank you for seeing an opportunity to close a gap and rushing right in. I think that's really important, and that just kind of goes to give an example of how this great team of folks work together to make sure that folks are taken care of in our community. And I hope everybody looks for an example of ways to rush in and make sure that our community is well fed, especially in this current situation. So thank you, and thank you, gentlemen, for the work that you're doing to ensure that our veterans are taken care of. Carrying along to item number 4B, this is where we welcome Mr. Tim Jorzak, our Supervisor of Assessments. 4B, 1A has no items to be presented for action this evening, but 4B, 2A opens the floor to you, sir, for any other information you'd like to share.
Thank you, Chair Lehman, members of the committee. Real quick, the only real update I have, we do have the appeal deadline has completely run for all of the townships at this point. Our final 4 townships ran on October 29th. We are a full month ahead of where we were last year, so we're really, really excited to hopefully bring a close to the appeal season a little bit sooner this year. That's really all I've got related to that. If you would allow me a moment of personal privilege, I do have one additional thing I'd like to say. Friday, this coming up Friday, not day after tomorrow, but next Friday will be the last day of our Assistant Supervisor of Assessments, Connie Clifford. Connie has been in our office now. She's been in the Supervisor of Assessments office for going on 29 years. And so she is going to take a well-deserved retirement. I just wanted to say, anybody in this room who has worked with Connie can attest to just how professional and how thorough and how dedicated she is to making McLean County look good and doing the job that she's been assigned. Connie is, she's been an indispensable part of my role with the supervisor's office for these last 3.5 years. She's been by my side the whole time, been helping keep the important work of the assessor's office going. She is truly everything that's good about McLean County employees and McLean County government. And so we are really, really, really going to miss her when she goes. Having said that, we are having a celebration for her next Thursday from 2 to 4, November 13th, down in our office. I would really encourage anybody who wants to come say goodbye and wish her well on a well-deserved career and a well-deserved retirement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jorzak, and thank you for that great celebration of Ms. Clifford. Definitely appreciate all the work that she's done and all the times that she's come to, before this committee at least, to represent your office and the great work that y'all are up to. So thank you for that. Carrying right along takes us to 4C1A, where we welcome Ms. McNeil, our county treasurer, in. 4C1A is the accept and place on file of the county treasurer's monthly financial report. Might I have a motion to put that on the floor? Motion by member Klaus, second by member Loeffler. Ms. McNeil, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I also want to say a quick comment about Ms. Clifford. I've had the pleasure of working with her for over 26 years. And what the treasurer's office does hand in hand with the supervisor of assessments and hand in hand with the county clerk, we're truly going to miss her. She has been an amazing public servant, and not only to the taxpayers, but also to the offices and all of the staff. She's just been an ultimate professional. So going to miss her dearly. Moving on to the treasurer's financial reports, you have the October summary of tax revenue. I'm not going to get into the details which you have in front of you, but for the month of October, we received $1.1 7 million compared to 1.5 million in October of '24. So our receipts are up overall. And in the area, obviously, is the countywide sales tax. That's the one that's increased the most. Year-to-date comparison, 14.1 million through the end of October compared to 14 million at the end of October 24. So we do have about a little over 100,000 cushion there year over year. Looking at a budget, the budget 16.9 million right now. Our vouchers are at 4.1 million. We've still got 2 months, and now I'll be honest with you. I don't know that we're going to make up the full 2.8 million in those 2 months, but I do know that we have been incredibly blessed with really good interest rates here in 2025, and so hopefully that will take some of that cushion. The shared sales tax, the receipts from the Town of Normal and City of Bloomington are there with you. 197,000 from Town of Normal, 295,000 from City of Bloomington, 493,000 compared to 419,000 October of 24. The fund has equity of 20,927,000. So. The property tax revenue during the month of October, we were able to release the property tax distributions to McLean County government that we had been holding during the month of August and September. The tax revenue that is now recognized in the county's general ledger is $47,866,000, 97% of our levy. Our tax sale is tomorrow morning. After that, we'll do a full reconciliation. DevNet will come and do a full reconciliation. We'll do final distribution hopefully before the end of December and have tax year 24, payable 25 wrapped up. So the motor fuel tax revenue is there in front of you also. You can see that during the month of October, between the regular CMF and renewal, almost 4.1 million, or excuse me, 3.7 million, or 370,000, excuse me. And then township, almost 300,000, a little over 300,000. So our total county motor fuel tax revenue, 3,498,000, and township motor fuel tax revenue, 2,917,000. There are still 3 months technically of revenue that are going to be coming in to these funds from the state of Illinois. November, December, and then January receipts are accrued back to December. The next report is the treasurer's report, and I will let you know that the Illinois funds rate at the end of October was 4.18%. I mean, that fund has been performing incredibly well, the public investment fund. The treasuries at the end of October, we acquired a treasury, and it was in the range of about 3.7%. So treasuries are going down a little bit. That's expected because the Federal Reserve is moving that rate. But we're still doing very well, as you can see throughout this report. Many of our investments, treasuries, are at over 4% or just slightly under. And those treasuries come with the full collateralization that we need to secure funds. Overall, across all funds, 128 million. The interest recognized through the end of September, 3,152,000 across all funds. The next report is the Blue Cross Blue Shield. That is our self-insurance plan. I've been watching this here in 2025. Our expenses are above 2024. For the month of October, our claims were 857,000 compared to last year, 743,000. Year-to-date, 7.2 million in claims, over 2024 of 6.2 million year-to-date. The stop-loss fee, column 6, At this point in time, the county has paid a stop-loss fee of $1,280,000. The actual stop-loss adjustment has been around $239,000. However, we, probably will see additional stop-loss adjustments here at the end of the year, November and December especially. So, yes.
So when we're seeing the claims increase from 24 to 25, is it a matter of we're seeing a larger number of claims increase, the severity of a claim which would increase the cost, or is it just like across the board, the cost is going up for stuff like this?
Those claim details are not shared with my office, perhaps administration, but not with my office.
Okay, yeah. All right,
Thank you.
no worries.
And I understand your question, I
Yeah,
truly do, but the details of what's doing, what, specifically what perimeters
Yeah,
are moving, that's just not something that's
Okay.
shared
sure.
with my staff.
It's just a curiosity, especially as we look forward to future plans, looking at, is this the cheapest plan? Is this the best
Yeah.
plan? So
Yeah.
thank you very much for continually bringing us at least this
You're
information.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thanks.
And then the nursing home summary. The nursing home, their numbers are accrued through the end of September. They're always going to be a month behind the county because of their reporting. For the month of September, they have revenue of $806,000. Pretty much the nursing home, their monthly revenue has been between $700,000 and $800,000. The year-to-date accumulated, and these are their key sources of revenue: state of Illinois, the Medicaid, the private pay, the VA, and the Medicare. Year-to-date, $7,298,000. So they, being 9 months into the year, if you look at the budget, they're at 70.52%. So that's pretty good. The year-to-date revenue, $7,755,878. That includes some other sources of revenue, not just the four primary, if you're comparing numbers. But again, along with all revenue, once all revenue and transfers are recognized, $7,755,000 through the end of September, compared to accrued expenses of $7,805,000. So their expenses are exceeding their revenue as of the end of September by $50,000. The receivable at the beginning of the year, the receivable started out at $5,166,000. The receivable at the end of September, $4,721,000. So the receivable has been adjusted by $445,000 year to date. The cash is currently negative $1,570,000. The nursing home is essentially borrowing from the general fund for cash purposes. The cash is down by $238,000 year to date. And then fund equity at the beginning of 2025, there was fund equity of $1,402,000. At the end of September, the nursing home has fund equity of $1,352,000. So it's down by $50,000 as well. And then the nursing home also has the reserve set aside for their bad debt of $2,950,000.
Thank you very much, Ms. McNeil. Comments or questions from the committee? Vice Chair Friedrich.
Thank you. Could you go back on your first page where your occupational tax revenue, local use tax being down 71%? Can you explain that?
Yeah,
Is that-
the Illinois Department of Revenue, they did change the way in which they distributed local use this year. And how their formula and calculation, what we were told, all treasurers in Springfield from Illinois Department of Revenue, is that change is effectively reducing the local use, but is increasing the countywide sales tax, the sales tax number. So we're seeing a higher number in our sales tax, a lower number in our local use. We've been told that's because of the distribution method that the Illinois Department of Revenue is now using.
Other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, Ms. McNeil, 4C12 gives you the opportunity for any other information to be presented. Oh, we do need to vote, don't we? That's a fabulous idea. Let's vote, shall we? 4C1A to request and place on file the county treasurer's monthly financial report. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Now, Ms. McNeil, any additional information that would be helpful for the committee to know?
No. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me, my office.
Excellent. Thank you very much. 4D1A welcomes Ms. Marshall Thompson, our Director of Animal Services, who is unable to join us this evening.
She was held up. She is on her way, but
Okay.
she is not currently present.
Right. Would it be okay if we maybe kicked this item and the other information to the end of our agenda? Should Ms. Thompson have anything she would like to share at the end?
That is the pleasure of the chair.
All right, let's do that. We'll hold 4D2A to the end of our item directly before we get to closed session in the event that Ms. Thompson does arrive. So carries us on to 4E. We have, with 4E1, we do have multiple items for action this evening, and we get to welcome our county clerk, Ms. Kathy Michael. Welcome, Ms. Michael. Let's go ahead and begin our items for action. 4E1A is the request approval of a resolution amending the funded full-time equivalent positions resolution for 2025, Fund 0001, Department 0005, County Clerk. Might I have a motion? Motion by Vice Chair Friedrich, second by, I believe it was Member Klaus. Let's go ahead over to, all of those in, goodness, we have our motions. Let's go ahead and go over to Ms. Michael to learn a little bit more about this particular item for action. Anything that you would have us know?
I don't have any comments unless you have some questions about it.
All right. Any comments or questions from the committee on this particular item? Pretty straightforward. Without further ado, item 4E1A, that's the request approval of a resolution amending the funded full-time equivalent position resolution for 2025, Fund 0001, Department 0005, County Clerk. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Item 4E1B is the request approval of an agreement with COT Systems. Might I have a motion to put it on the floor for discussion? Motion by Member Farley, second by Member Leffler. Ms. Michael, over to you or anyone else on your staff who would like to tee this one up for us.
Thank you. We'll turn this over to Mark Bounds, our Director of the Recording Division. Thanks, Mark, and Molly, the Assistant Director.
Thank you, Mark and Molly, for being present. Happy to hear anything that would be important for us to know going into this one.
So currently we're in a local environment. Our data is held here and the software is locally held. This contract would take, excuse me, the data and place it at the Tier 4 data center in Ohio, and then it would be mirrored in Milwaukee. Kind of technology is advancing at a rate that it's hard to know where we're going to end up. That's why we're still using film to back things up, because we know it has a shelf life of 200 years. And this is basically going to help us out as far as the process goes. If we have any need for technical support, right now it's really difficult to get two different members of IT to actually work and talk together. It can be difficult sometimes because you always have security, voice verifications, and we run a process that we need it now, sometimes if things are going wrong. So it's going to free up some of that.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Bounds. Comments or questions from the committee on this one? Yeah, Member Klaus.
So I think the new cost was in here. Are we paying any cost, or is everything fully depreciated on the current solution? I was just trying to figure out what the differential is
It's a
going to
little
be.
bit of an increased cost.
Okay.
As far as, and then there's an outline of different fees that are speculated to be associated with it. However, approval for that would be requested later, after contingent on this being approved. And I can point out the exact page, but there should be additional revenues
I guess
coming
page
in. So
21,
it's gonna be
I
page
think.
21 is kind of the baseline for other counties that are hosted in this manner.
All right. And did we have, but this was in the budget that we went through already, or is this coming up subsequent to those numbers?
So this is what we were, what we spoke of when the budget was
We're planning
approved.
on.
Yeah, this new number. Now, the revenues obviously is another step contingent upon this, and then we'll know more, obviously, next year at budget time.
Additional comments or questions? Okay, so this one is definitely part of the 26 budget, and that's where the funding is going to come from with the COT here, yes?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so for what we have set forth for 2026, we should be good there. And then on the other side, the revenue lines for 27 are going to be different, 26 and 27.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate the abundance of clarity. Other comments or questions from the committee? All right, seeing none, let's go ahead and vote on 4E1B. That is the request approval of an agreement with COT Systems. All of those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Moving along to 4E1C, that's a request approval of a conference center rental agreement with the Central Illinois Regional Airport. Might I have a motion? Motion by Member Farley, second by Vice Chair Friedrich. Ms. Michael, what additional information would be helpful for us to know regarding the conference center rental agreement with CIRA?
Well, I don't know if this is out there yet or not, but we can no longer have them all for early voting. We can't work out a contract with them. So we needed to look for another location, and we put a shout out everywhere, and for 2 months now, I think, and had a recommendation for the airport. I had no idea they had conference rooms or anything else, and so we looked at that, and our director of elections, Mark Singer, went out there with some other folks, and it's a perfect location for our early voting site, an additional one. And so that's why we have this request. We will no longer have the cost or the wonderful location of the mall for early voting.
Thank you very much, Ms. Michael. Comments or questions from the committee? Yeah, Member Klaus.
Just for context, how much did we used to have to pay for the mall? I saw it's 840 for, I believe it was like 6 days,
I don't have those costs in front of me. Do
roughly.
Okay. Mark.
Is it?
We roughly paid $1,500 a month, 15 or close to 18, close to $15,000 to $18,000 in a year. So this would be quite a bit of change.
Any other comments or questions? I think I probably know the answer to this one, but just for clarity, with the shift in location, are there plenty of options for public transit that go out to the airport in particular?
That's a good question, and that was first on our list. So the buses do provide transportation, which is great. Pardon? Tan line, it's called, Tan line.
The tan line. Okay, excellent. And then were we to go forward with this potential new location, what would be a communication strategy? I think folks are really kind of aligned to knowing exactly where to go. So what, I know you all have great methods with getting out the vote information. So any new and inventive ideas to help folks with the behavior change on where to go?
We'll rely on your help to help spread the word through Facebook and everywhere else. We love our public. As you know, with humans, We often don't read, we often don't listen to radio or the paper, so it's hard to get that word out. And we're just going to continue to do what we do with our public relations and our election judges and things like that, but I'll guarantee you a lot of people will show up at the mall to vote. So any way that you can continue to help get that word out will be greatly appreciated. But as you probably know, our public relations is kind of a big thing with us, with the radio and word of mouth, and any other ideas you can suggest for us to get that word out. We're more than willing to do that.
Fantastic. I'm sure folks will probably keep the brainstorms that come in for new and inventive ways that we can help your team connect with the community in a great way. So thank you. Any other comments or questions from the committee popped up? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and take 4E1C to a vote. That's the request approval of a conference center rental agreement with Central Illinois Regional Airport. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. For E2A and B, invite monthly reports for recording to the clerk's office. Are there any additional information that you would like to present for information surrounding the recording reports or anything else from your department?
I have none unless you have specific questions.
Any questions direct to the county clerk? Okay. Thank you very much. We'll carry on to 4F, where we welcome Ms. Michelle Anderson, our county auditor, with 4F1A. There are no items to be presented for action this evening, but we do have 2A items to be presented for information. Welcome, Ms. Anderson. We have your quarterly report, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to you if you'd like to share information and give us a rundown on the quarterly report or any other information out of your department.
Okay. It was in the packet. If anybody has specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But overall, it's the same format that they've always been and that the ACFR is presented in: revenues over expenditures and the decrease. Some of the decreases could just be due to operations going 12 months and the revenues lagging for grant-dependent departments. Other departments like highway are known to hold reserves for a large project that might cost, in excess of $8 million for a certain road and then spend it down. So nothing is overly concerning at this point.
Okay. Thank you for that rundown of the report. Comments or questions from the committee, either on the quarterly report or other information? Yeah, Member Farley.
Hi. I'm first time seeing this report because I'm newer to the board. So is there anything that you could point out that I should, we should really focus on and look at? Walk me through kind of what all this stuff is and everything. It'd be great.
Sure. So if you look at the first page where it lists general funds, special revenue funds, nursing home, the first column is the budget under general funds. The budget starts 17 million in property tax revenue. And then the next column is actual. So that would be what we've collected year to date. The nursing home does not receive property taxes. So basically it goes down to the bottom line where it says net change in fund balance. So you see the general fund has collected $2 million in revenues more than we've expended in expenditures.
Okay.
So I guess, the easy way to think of it is you get your paycheck at the end of the month. If your checkbook is negative, that's what the special revenue funds are right now. We've spent more than we've brought in. On a business or in a government like this, that's not overly concerning on a quarter snapshot.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, on our personal checking account, that would be bad, but on this, it's to be expected by some divisions. So we just hope by the end of the year that we have revenues exceeding expenditures.
Gotcha. Thank you. And I do have one other question, if you don't mind. In regards to the yearly report, is there anything that the county board can do to assist in making sure it's on time in the future? Any support from us that we could help you with to make sure that we are hitting those deadlines like we should be?
I will keep that in mind next year. At this point, I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Because we're kind of in the middle.
Right.
So I can't think of anything at this instant, but
If there is, please let us know, because if there's a way for us to make sure that that's on time and make sure our policyholder money, or sorry, our constituents' tax money is being properly allocated the way it should be. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Additional comments or questions? Member Klaus.
Hi, yep, thanks for being here. So this is my first year going through, so I'm still trying to get acclimated to how the process works. So I know you've done this for a few years. So do we normally have first and second quarter? Because I think this is now cumulative, right? So this is 25 year to date, so it's all 9 months, kind of all reconciled, right? But normally, obviously, we just got the annual one done, but would we normally have a first quarter, or probably because of timing, second quarter would be the only quarterly one we would actually normally get? Or how does it normally work?
I feel like first quarter,
Because I don't know if it was dependent on, having the final number, so you can't really do a quarterly until you get final numbers, or.
so what I don't do is like the end of year fund balance until we have things
You
finalized.
have that.
Because
So this
I
is
can't-
primarily just, here's all the activity reconciled and
But this is year to
distributed.
date.
Right,
You would not get a December quarter because it is the year end. So we don't,
right. So this will be the last or only quarterly one, okay. Okay, thanks. Yep.
And I believe we've had one quarterly report thus far this year.
We did?
There
Okay.
was one quarterly report that was missed, and then the final from, or the third one year before. So, but thank you very much for making sure that we have the quarterly report this evening. I think it's really helpful for the rest of the committee to be able to dive in and actually see that information and be able to track month over month, kind of, or I guess quarter over quarter where we're at.
and if anybody has specific questions on finances, as Mr. Klaus said, I've done this a few years, probably a few more than I'm willing to admit based on age. But if you ever have questions, just feel free to reach out.
Other comments or questions from the committee? One thing that I'd like to request is there are quite a few departments who put together like a monthly report. If you take a look at an example, shortly we're going to take a look at Animal Control's monthly report. That helps us be able to see month over month, like what are the key wins out of your department, as well as anything that we should be aware of and or help with. I think that could be really helpful in making sure that we can all work together really well and understand what your office kind of office goals are, and be able to celebrate some of the wins that are coming out of there. I think that's something that could be really helpful for the majority of county departments, if we can make such a request. I think it's.
If somebody has an idea of what to put in it,
Yeah.
because we approve bill, shy of sitting there counting invoices, which doesn't sound like the best use of time. I don't know what other metrics.
Sure.
If somebody has an idea, I don't know.
I think things like status updates would be really helpful, like especially when we're looking at the annual audit, to be able to have this is where we are in the process for the audit. This is
I was
this is what
thinking
we've
to
accomplished
Kathy
thus far.
Michaels, where it says how many, birth certificates or
Yeah.
death certificates. I don't
If
have those to issue.
If there is
Thankfully.
a particular number factor figure, that would be great, and we can look into what would be helpful. But I think more so, really helping us to understand what are the key accomplishments coming out of each department, so we know an overall status of where are we on some of the key things as they go throughout the course of the year, and kind of like with Member Farley's suggestion of, so we know exactly how we can help you, and also know how to report back to our constituents on different factors with county government, since really we get one time a year with the ACFR, with the big kind of fireworks, so that way we know where we're at throughout the rest of the year too. So, yeah, please.
So administration would be happy to work with the auditor on this topic, but I think she will find with the new ERP system, as she and Kathy Dreyer have been going through some of those modules, the new ERP system might be a source of reporting that provides greater detail than the one we currently have. So I agree with her that our current system would not be able to generate any meaningful metrics for you. but the new one may have some additional capabilities, and that will be coming after February of next year.
Fantastic. We look forward to seeing the progress that happens with the new ERP.
And maybe this is something we can start next year.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's merely exactly, yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what he said.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
We don't want you counting a bunch of paper clips and stuff, but hopefully this system is an
You
improvement.
just remind me of my 5-year-old. You're walking away from me talking and expecting me to get your snack. Doesn't work if Mama can't hear. Thank you.
Additional comments or questions? Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you very much for your time and your report. This carries us on to item number 4G, 1, where we get to chat with our county administrator, Ms. Cassie Taylor, who has quite a few items for action this evening. So we'll go ahead and take 4G 1A, the request approval of the fiscal year 2026 compensation plan. Might I have a motion to put it on the floor? Member Loeffler with the motion and Member Farley with the second. Administrator Taylor, what should we be aware of with this item?
So this is something that we must consider and recommend each year, specific to some of our departments that have state responsibilities. We are required to update our compensation plan every year. This year, we have updated some of the definitions. Really, most of the additions or corrections in this document are to follow our current practices. And I do have Rachel Neisler here. She is our HR manager, and she helped craft this based on current practice. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain them.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the committee? Yep. All right, so it looks like this particular item is really focusing on parity across the board as opposed to amounts direct to individuals per role.
That is correct. The across-the-board increase is a 70 cents per hour increase instead of doing a percentage increase, which has been done in previous years. That is to concentrate the increase equitably across our organization, but also focusing on those employees that are on the lower scale of our salary scales.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. All right, with no other comments or questions from the committee, 4G1A is the request approval of the fiscal year 2026 compensation plan. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. 4G1B is a request approval of an ordinance by the McLean County Board amending the McLean County Code, Chapter 108, Article 7, Miscellaneous Benefits and Entitlements. Might I have a motion? Motion by Member Kloss, second by Member Farley. Administrator Taylor.
Thank you again. So this is another one that Ms. Rachel Neisler has helped with. We have surveyed our employees. We have listened to our employees. We are trying to retain and attract talent. And so we have proposed some changes to Chapter 108, which is our miscellaneous benefits for our employees, and they're listed out there. The significance of this would be a change to our vacation accruals, and I'm trying to find the page. So if I think it's on 53 and 54 will show you the changes that we're proposing. I guess in a nutshell, instead of having a milestone timeframes like the 5-year, 10-year, 15-year mark, we are increasing it incrementally by 1 day increases each year to entice people to stay and not have to wait for a milestone.
Fantastic. Comments or questions? I think as far as retention goes, this definitely sounds like a great step to entice folks to stick around as opposed to having to wait to be rewarded. So I think this sounds like a lovely idea and definitely something that look forward to seeing those retention numbers and the comparisons in the future to continue to keep our folks sticking around in positions that they're really helpful in.
Thank you.
So
we do too.
This looks great. Let's go ahead and put that item 4G1B that request approval of the ordinance by the McLean County Board amending the McLean County Code, Chapter 108, Article 7, miscellaneous benefits and entitlements to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. 4G1C is a request approval of a fiscal year 2026 recommended budget for IMRF Fund 0131. Might I have a motion? Motion by Member Farley, second by Member Leffler. Administrator Taylor.
This is pretty straightforward. These are our responsibilities to the IMRF fund based on our FTE numbers for this fiscal year.
Comments or questions? All right, 4G1C, the request approval of the fiscal year 2026 recommended budget for IMRF Fund 0131. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. 4G1D is the request approval of fiscal year 2026 recommended budget for Social Security Expense Fund 0130. Might I have a motion? Motion by Member Klaus, second by Member Farley. Administrator Taylor.
Very similar to the last action item, these are our responsibilities to Social Security for our employees.
Questions? Easy does it. 4G1D, request approval of the fiscal year 2026 recommended budget for Social Security Expense Fund 0130. All of those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Moving right along to 4G1E, this is a request approval of the fiscal year 2026 recommended budget for the County Clerk Department 0005 Elections Program 0006. Might I have a motion to put it on the floor for discussion? Motion by Member Leffler and a second by Member Farley. Administrator Taylor, I believe this is one that we brought back from last month's discussion.
Yes, and I appreciate that not only is Clerk Michaels here, but also the Director of Elections, Mark, is here. If you would like to come up to the podium or one of the microphones, not the podium, the microphones.
Thank you very much for your presence tonight and giving us the opportunity to connect on this particular item. I'll open it up for the committee. Any particular comments or questions? Comments or questions that I had last time around are pretty much the same ones. And thank you very much for reaching out with your email and checking out those questions ahead of time by watching the meeting. So the key question I have is regarding the non-contractual services line. So that's the 773.0001. The question that I had, I guess the first question that popped out is in looking at the 24 adopted budget to the 24 actual budget, there's an increase there. So it was, quick math, not good for me, 50,000 more-ish. That was actually spent than what was budgeted for. But then the thing that kind of triggered for me as I was curious, the actual budget for 25 was 115,000, but the actual on where we're at thus far this year is 276,000. So that was one of the things that we were curious, what has brought forth that increase in that particular line?
Additional election equipment that was needed. And in addition, we got a $70,000 grant to apply toward that as well.
Excellent. Glad to know that the grant did a lot of heavy lifting on that one. So the next thing that I was curious on is knowing that elections are going to be an expensive thing. We're coming up to another big election year. So for 26, there is budgeted 207,000. So roughly 207,000. Is that going to be enough? Because for the last couple years, we've put out a budgeted amount and we've exceeded the budget. Thankfully, we have situations where grants come through. Your department has been great at trying to acquire grants, but unfortunately looking at this year, we have lower grants for one reason or another. So is this the right number? Are we confident that we're going to come close to 207,000 for the fiscal year 26? Or is this something that we should be looking at a higher number since we continually trend up?
With all due respect,
Sure,
this is an estimated budget
absolutely.
every year. And as you know, with elections, things change constantly. So this is our best estimate. I mean, we just got a grant in for $10,000, for example. We never know for sure when we're going to get the grants, how much we're going to get. So we do our very best at guesstimating. To raise or lower on another guess, we're going to stick with this number, you know, rather than we could say, well, we might need another $50,000. You know what I mean? We're not,
Sure.
It's a budget, just like with your budget for groceries for the year. And you budgeted $50,000, but you didn't realize you were going to have the family reunion there, so you needed another $40,000. So there's always just those things that we can't anticipate. So this was just our best average that we can do over the years. Is there any way we can help you with that, or it's just a guess?
Okay.
As best we can, relying on past information, and we don't know what the future lies ahead and what people, the feds and the state are going to change. And so it was our best estimate.
Okay. I definitely appreciate a best estimate and knowing things change all the time. We do have a lot of swings in how, you know, laws are come out and how, you know, some things might have a grant one year and then that grant goes away. So I certainly understand those aspects.
Let me add,
Please.
to ask Mark, did you have anything you wanted to add about grants coming in or expenditures that we didn't cover?
Yeah, with the grants, we do apply and we try to do the best we can to meet the demands, like ADA grant, and the allowable expenditures. So, we try to meet the demands and meet the allowable expenditures. And when we apply for the grant, it is subject upon approval from the state board. So, we try the best we can to get the most that we can for particular grants for helping McLean County, for the voters and everyone in McLean County.
I don't know if this will help or continue to confuse of what the things that we deal with, as all of you deal with. We'll find out about a grant and then we'll be asked to, okay, every county gets to put in X amount of dollars to get this grant. And then we do our best. We don't, and state board jokingly sort of reminds us, now don't put in extra money if you don't really need it to try to get more money from us, you know. And so we prove it to what we want to buy, and they have this big pile of money. So if all the counties put in their dollars and they have an extra $100,000 and we have put in, and the counties have put in for more, even though you were limited, they will give us the extra money that they have left over that counties haven't used. And we never know for sure. We always love it if they have an extra $50,000, but they'll cover our needs first. And then if other counties haven't asked for more, then they'll distribute it to us, which is really nice. But again, we never have any idea what that number is going to be year to year.
Okay.
Did that make any sense at all? You
It
understand?
does, yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Additional comments or questions from the committee? Thank you very much for the additional understanding that goes along with this one. I'm sure you can understand and appreciate how important it is to understand our budgetary process, and we can all help hold one another accountable for trying to stick to it as much as we
Well,
can.
we appreciate you asking because that's what you're here for, to represent the people. And when I took a second look at that line, and I went, whoa, yeah, because it jumped up to 276,000, and that would catch and should catch anybody's eye for explanation. So we appreciate your input very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your presence here this evening. Seeing no other comments or questions, we'll go ahead and vote on 4G1E. That's the request approval of the fiscal year 2026 recommended budget for the County Clerk Department 0005, Election Program 0006. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Moving on to 4G1F is a request approval of a resolution of the McLean County Board delegating settlement authority under risk management / self-insurance program. Might I have a motion? Motion by member Leffler, second by member Farley. Administrator Taylor, over to you.
Thank you. The purpose of this resolution is to begin the updating process of our risk management policy. That policy has stood since 1992. So with the help of our civil division, we are beginning to take looks at different selections of that policy, and we'll bring them to you as needed. The first was a review from Mr. Rude of our claim settlement authority. And so we've asked for establishing that hierarchy for our litigated and non-litigated claim settlement authority for our workers' comp claims. And that's outlined in the resolution.
Thank you very much. Comments or questions from the committee? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote on 4G1F, the request approval of a resolution of the McLean County Board delegating settlement authority under risk management self-insurance program. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. 4G1G is the request approval of statements of work with outside auditor for audit services and assertion-based examination services, and this was a TBD item. Might I have a motion to put it on the floor for discussion? Motion by member Farley, second by Vice Chair Friedrich. Administrator Taylor, what should we know regarding this item?
Yes, so thank you, Chair Lehman. You received the documents under separate cover, my memo outlining the statement of work, as well as the need to continue with our current auditor, outside auditor, CLA. The main focus of our engagement for this upcoming year is we are pleased to know that the auditing firm that understands our accounts and has been auditing us for the last few years has also been through this process with a changeover with an ERP system, specifically the same ERP system that we are changing over to. And we thought that that benefit, as well as the service that they've provided us in the last few years, made it a situation where we wanted to continue on with CLA for one more year.
Thank you very much. Comments or questions from the committee? Yeah, member Klaus.
So I don't remember seeing, do we know how much the cost differential was from one year to the other? Because I know like last year we probably had extra fees from all the lateness, so it's not apples to oranges, but at least what was planned versus this is what's planned at least. Do we know roughly what that is, or?
I think this is about a 7% increase from this year, but it will be less than we really paid for this year because we did incur additional costs based on the time frame, the lateness.
Comments or questions? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote on 4G1G, the request approval of statements of work with outside auditor to audit services and assertion-based examination services. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. I'd like to go ahead and skip over where we're at, or at least put a pause on 2 with items to be presented for information, and take the opportunity to welcome our Director of Animal Services, Ms. Marshall Thompson. So with item 4D1A, there are no items that Ms. Thompson brings for action this evening. But Ms. Thompson did have her items to be presented for information in the form of the monthly report. Ms. Thompson, over to you for any information that should be shared regarding your monthly report.
Thank you very much, and I apologize for the entirety. I had unexpected animal emergencies and vet scheduling, so thank you for your consideration. Just wanted to say that the progress at the new facility is going wonderful. The additional fencing area and the employee parking area looks fantastic. It's moving right along with development and construction, so we're enjoying those opportunities. I know we're at the end of our meeting. Did everyone get a copy of the report or have any questions?
I believe the report was emailed out separately.
Thank you.
We do not have paper copies directly in front of us, but
I apologize, I was not feeling well previous week. And
no worries at all. Hope you're feeling better
I
now,
could
or at
just-
least on the road to it.
I can do some highlights so that I'll be fast.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
I wanted to make sure that I give a lot of credit to the staff and also a lot of our new volunteers who are helping diligently care for the animals at the facility and just routine laundry and dishes and things like that. So it's been nice to see the community engagement and all the animals appreciating the work that all are doing to provide that quality care. We continue to do our reclaims and adoptions and transfers, and we're doing pretty good. Ooh, sorry, my computer's skipping here. Pretty good with those things. Year to date, 167 cats and 85 dogs have been transferred into other programs for adoption, in addition to the private adoptions of 53 dogs and 103 cats, totaling 408 pets that have been adopted or transferred year to date. So they're all enjoying the new space, and we're enjoying being there as well. We have facilitated 289 rabies inoculations, and moving on with our rabies prevention program, prepared and submitted for rabies testing 55 bats, 3 raccoons, 3 cats, and 2 opossums, and 3 dogs. And we appreciate the collaboration as well with the communicable disease at the health department. They've helped us monitor 442 bats and rabies investigations, providing a great intergovernmental collaboration to help protect the community against rabies. And we're also working really hard to make sure that we're getting animals spayed or neutered for our pet overpopulation portion, totaling 144 feline alters, 78 canine alters, 286 microchips implanted, and 289 rabies vaccines. And so I'm really proud of those numbers and hoping to watch them grow as our new building becomes more involved in our community and engagement opportunities. And some of the new things that I would like to showcase that I got to experience this month were a different type of volunteers that came unexpectedly and as a great benefit. We are seeing parents with teenagers coming in and wanting to work as father-son, mother-daughters, little groups, and teaching responsibility and quality pet ownership and giving back to the community. And so I was rewarded during that process and felt very proud to be a part of it. And watching those relationships develop in our spaces was quite remarkable. So thank you to all Colton and Chris and all the other volunteers who've been newly joining our program and helping the animals in the community. We have lots of animals available for adoption. Some of our adoptable success photos are in there. So they were really nice families that came in and adopted our adoptable animals. And also in adoption services, we've reclaimed 175 dogs and 25 cats, totaling 200 pets that have been reunited with their owners, in addition to researching rabies tags and IDs and microchips within the community, helping get them reunited in the field. So once again, more photos about some of the things we've been doing there at the facility, and I welcome any questions, and I love this new facility. It's doing great for the community.
That's great to hear. Thank you very much, Ms. Thompson. Comments or questions from the committee? Yeah, Mr. Farley.
I just want to say thank you. Every time we have county board, when you come into our committee, you're thorough, excellent reporting. So I just really appreciate all that and hearing your enthusiasm as well. So thank you very much.
It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah, your enthusiasm certainly is infectious. So thank you for bringing that.
I feel kind of down today, so I'm sorry.
No, you're still great. Thank you. Seeing no other comments or questions, we'll go ahead and carry on. Thank you very much for being with us this evening, and hope you get feeling better. So the rest of the items on our agenda, with 4G, we have A and B. Other information with Ms. Taylor. Like to take a moment and see, is there any other information that you would like to present for information for 4G 2A?
I do not have any other information.
Okay, then I'd like us to continue on to item number 5, other business or communication. With A, our next meeting date December 3rd, 2025 at 5 p.m. Did any members of the committee have any other business or communication to address? All right, then we'll go ahead and hop back up on the agenda to 4G2B. And this is where we have a closed session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120-2C11, litigation when an action against affecting on or behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, or in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. Might I have a motion to take us into closed session? I have a motion by Member Farley, second by Member Loeffler. All of those in favor of going into closed session at this moment, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are now into closed session. Reminder, microphones off. Thank you for everyone that has joined us this evening.